Many of us as African American men, we are from the inner city. That means usually close to downtown, somewhere from the hood, and raised by a single parent home. And usually that is our mothers. And so with that, because we don't have a whole lot of mentorship, goals tend to be very limited because usually other things we feel that we can't reach because of the low confidence that some of us have. So medical school, law school, engineering, it's something that a lot of brothers kind of stray away from. But things that we see that, really work for us, rap music, sometimes, club promoting, if you want to be the illegal Pookie and Ray Ray route, drug dealing. And then of course, one of the best things that we like is sports. And most of us love sports in some way or another, especially if it's football or basketball or even both. And so many of us go that route. When we have children, typically we end up having kids. We're not married, but what happens is that we put the same effort that in our life into our children's life, right? And if it's a boy, typically we want him to become the athlete that we've never become. And I see that for so many black men out there. It's kind of like the only way that some of the brothers know how to be a parent. And I guess you're just doing what you can to, get your kid to the next level. But Dr. Umar Johnson has a real powerful speech out about this. And I want to play that message now. And then I want to come back and talk about it.
Nope. And for my black fathers in the room, I understand you might be addicted to sports. I understand that you wanted to go to the NFL and you might not have made it. And now you want to live vicariously through your sons. There's nothing more selfish than a black father to impose his athletic dreams on his son's ego. If that boy don't want to be a football player, there's nothing wrong with that. If he don't want to be a basketball player, there's nothing wrong with that. You had your life. Let your son live his. Because after all, the only people benefiting from black men going to the NFL are poor white women. They take the wives and they take all the money. So how is this control? There will be no NFL or NBA. Because we're not benefiting from the NFL or NBA. Not only that, only 1% of all only 1% of all high school athletes will become professional. Only 1%. Your son has a greater chance of being struck by lightning than becoming a millionaire through professional sports. I'm not saying kill his dream. Don't take his dream, but make sure he got a plan B. A plan A doesn't bother him. See, the problem with us is we let Raheem think he's absolutely going to make it no matter what. Problem with us, we let no Mike think he's going to absolutely make it no matter what. And then the sports coaches and the principal and the dean of students and the classroom teacher, they all collaborate in Raheem's low expectations. He don't have the grades to graduate, but we're going to keep him on the football field anyway. He ain't got the grades to graduate, but we're going to keep him on the basketball court.
So guys, Umar Johnson, he does a lot of things I don't like sometimes. But on this, in my honest opinion, the brother is absolutely right. For some of us as black men, we are living our lives through our kids. And because we didn't make it through in sports, they got to make it in sports. So if we were a point guard and we didn't get to the league, our son got to be the point guard and he got to get it to the league. And then what ends up happening, I see it so much, is that, these young men get pushed into sports, and by the time they're 24 and 25 and can't play sports anymore, then the cycle continues. And then they use all of that energy going into, athletics, and they don't have anything to offer the industry, the economy. And what I've noticed from other people, like other races, white men, Asians, they like sports also. But, there's also a big understanding that sports is just one of the ways out. You need to actually be somebody in the economy. You actually need to have a skill or a trade. And a lot of times I'm seeing so many black men when we're dealing with our young boys and young men, We're giving them like, hey, you got to go be the next running back or the next wide receiver or the next shooting guard or bust. And typically anything can happen in sports. Sometimes teams are political. You might not get the opportunity you want. You might be playing overseas. You might get hurt. And we don't teach our kids the ownership. And as black men, they become useless as they get older. And I'm going to tell you who starts complaining about them: black women. And I know we talk about black women raise these boys to be kind of soft sometimes and not to have that killer instinct. But we got to talk about also a lot of black fathers are leading their sons down the right path. There's not a focus on academics because they were not focused on academics. This is one of the reasons why you see T.I.'s son acting like that, or you see Boosie's son acting like that. Want to know why? Because that's all they know. And this is why it's important to get your kids and your children around people that know more than you, because academics is everything. Skill set is everything. The ability to do business and to add value in the industry is everything. Because sports is only for so long. And Dr. Umar is right when he says, hey, you know what? We don't need more basketball players in the black community. We need people to solve problems. And instead of you being the basketball player, why don't you be the owner? And we know that owners got power, because what do you see people in the league trying to do? Basketball players want to become owners. Isn't that what LeBron James wants to do? LeBron James has been playing basketball for 18 years, working out and, putting his body through all kind of tussle, his feet, the tussle, Deion Sanders, people like that. And Magic Johnson, to have a stake in the Lakers, to have a stake in the Los Angeles Dodgers, Dwayne Wade to have a stake in the Utah Jazz. At one point, Shaquille O'Neal had a stake in the Sacramento Kings. Ownership is where it's at. We don't teach our young men to be owners. We teach our young men to work for other people, be athletes, be rappers, spend all their money on women, and then get broke so everybody can laugh at them. That's our issue. When we all know that ownership is everything. We need to teach our young men that sports is great, but you're not going to play basketball all your life. You're not going to be a quarterback all your life. You're not going to be a wide receiver all of your life. Those careers end by 3 and 4. And even though I would love for you to follow my footsteps, I don't want you to end up like me. Because a lot of those black fathers who are betting on their sons to go to the NBA, there's another reason why you're doing that, because you want him to take care of you. You want to meet those young girls in the locker room, right? You want to be Kyrie Irving's dad, and you get to be able to go out and talk and all this kind of stuff. That's what you want to be. You want the second coming of your life, but you're being selfish. You have a lot of black fathers out there who are being absolutely selfish with the development of their young men, and they're not pushing academics in school. They're not pushing academics in the home. Do the very minimum to survive so you can play basketball just like me. And then when you can't do anything in life, it's the white man's fault. And I believe Dr. Umar Johnson is 100% right. We have to stop this behavior. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Dick Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.